Good evening, everyone. This is Chris on IMTN Worldwide Radio. This is Around the ATL, episode 127, I believe. 646-652-4479. That's the first time I've been able to say that in a long time. But before I get to that, tonight is going to be a short show. I apologize in advance. I did a show earlier today, and instead of doing a full show on the draft, where we've already done a show on the draft a couple of weeks ago, on Around the ATL, make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page. Please do that for me. I'm a make it a little bit more specific, and I'm going to ask the question: why? Why the draft? Why participate in the draft if we really don't have a direction, and we have such a non-direction that it scares people from coming here? Is that the reason? For decade after decade after decade, you just don't have anything going on, or you don't have enough people in place that people can trust to say, this is going to be the direction that I can trust that my career is going to grow. So maybe that's it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more than just the draft itself. Now, if y'all want, call into the show or message on the chat line if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, and you type in who you think, and we'll chop it up as far as that goes. But first, thanks for the NBA.com site for giving me the ability to show some of the highlights that I will show in this particular show. Make sure you follow on Facebook and Instagram, IMTN Worldwide Radio. Pretty easy to do. You can also follow on Twitter, Intellect ATL. My co-host, Jordan23 ATL on Twitter. And also, tonight's show is brought to you by IMTN Worldwide Images. I will be in Atlanta tomorrow doing a photo shoot. So if you know at least one person, I'm really trying to not go to Atlanta for one shoot, because I don't live in Atlanta. It's a 2-hour drive there and a 2-hour drive home. If at all possible, I'm trying to do at least 2 shoots or stay overnight and do 3 or 4 shoots on Thursday. You never know. But visit the IMTNWorldwideImages.com website. Also follow on Instagram, IMTN Worldwide Images 1 on Instagram. That would be great. Let me know if you need headshots or family portraits or acting headshots or model portfolio pictures, or somebody's pregnant, they want maternity pictures. I just put in a bid for an office that needs headshots for their whole office. So if you have companies, you're a business owner, let me know. Let's chop it up. So anyway, let's get back to some sports here. So again, this is not going to be a full show because I've already done a draft show already a couple of weeks ago. So if you go to Around the ATL, go back a little bit and you'll see the draft show. Again, we know who the top prospects are. And again, you can come in and in fact, I'll do this real quick. We know that, let's see, where are they at? Oh, I don't have the pictures. That's right. There is one, right? There's another, right? There's another, right? There's another, right? There's another, right? There's all kinds of guys that are up for grabs, so to speak, but what's going to be the best fit And the why again. Why the draft right now? And one thing I want to focus on is the center position. And I'm going to show y'all something in a little bit, but I'm going to review some other things. But I'm going to remind you of things I've said a billion times on Twitter on Intellect ATL. The Atlanta Hawks have two centers in their history that have averaged 20 points or more in a season. Bob Pettit and Moses Malone. Now, think about Moses Malone and rest in peace, he only played one season for the Hawks, and that was in the 80s. Bob Pettit played for a different Hawks team. That wasn't the Atlanta Hawks. They were the St. Louis Hawks, right? So in the decades where centers were the rave, right, the Hawks never got anybody. All the Kareems and Patricks and Akeem Olajuwons and all these bigs, Hawks never had any. And then you go into a new version of bigs like a Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, and all those. Hawks never had nobody, right? Right? Am I wrong? Right? Tim Duncan's of the world, such and such, right? And then you get even further, you got Giannis, of course, and others, right? And then, of course, not right now, recently, you got Wemby and Chet and people like that. But you also, I skipped some, Joel, Joker, and some others, right? Andre Drummond and others, right? The Hawks, all during this time, earlier, I don't know if it was on the show, but on a Facebook page, I went through, it was a Facebook Live. And I went through from 1987 till now. Who have we picked to be the man in the middle? Do you remember the Chicago Bulls intro? And now your starting lineup for your world champion 7 times over, the Chicago Bulls. You're the man in the middle. We've never had anybody be in the middle. The last time we had a threat in the middle who could actually hit a jump shot on a regular basis was Al Horford. Ain't that messed up? Now, intertwine that with direction. What kind of direction have the Hawks had since 1965? Okay. What kind of eras have we watched the Hawks go through? Of course, you have Dominique and the success that they had on the win total side. Not so much playoffs, but, you know, they got to the point they were winning 50 games a year at least in a dominant East. Legacy teams, Pistons, Celtics, Bulls, right? Hawks were fighting with them. Couldn't get over the top though, right? Another era. Now I kind of still say, you know, that he just didn't get his chance. But, you know, the team that, and I'm sorry again, I'm tired. I'm trying to get ready to go to Atlanta tomorrow. But and hit me up on the comment section if you can. And actually, I forgot to do this. Let me put the number up for y'all. Joe Johnson and Zaza and Jay Smooth and Jay Chill, that team was a little bit of an error. Woodson, and he didn't get his chance to finish it out. I think we were on the verge, right? So I would count that a little bit as an error. They were trending up at least. Then you had Coach Bud, of course. He had a direction, and it was working, right? Just didn't have enough pieces to get over the top. Couldn't stop Tristan Thompson. Whatever. And then most recently, you have the 6 years with Trey here. And outside of the ECF, which he almost led us to, we were 2 games away from the finals. 2 games. We were right there on the cusp, right? But after that, the Hawks did nothing to follow up with that, as opposed to other teams that had similar episodes in their lifetime. They said, no, we got to get some people. We got to switch some stuff out. We got to get better. And our own owner even said it. First of all, he said he was going to do stuff. Then he didn't. Then he comes back and apologized that he should have did stuff. How many times do we have to hear that with a billionaire owner? That's where the direction question comes in. So again, 646-652-4479 is the number if you want to try to call in. We'll talk about it a little bit in regards to the draft. Why the draft? Why are the Hawks, really going to be drafting anybody? Is there really a reason or a purpose at this point? Okay. And direction. Have we been able to endure, wrong word, have we been able to convince anybody that we have a direction enough to want people to be here, to be in this organization? The city of Atlanta is a great city. It is not a small town. Okay? So what is being said or not being said to not be able to attract people to come here? Because it doesn't make sense when you look at it just from that standpoint. The city is a part of why a person goes to a team, obviously. All right? Money, obviously, and then the ability to win, the ability to compete, right? But what is it about Atlanta that has curbed so many people away, either non-vocally or vocally, whether it be the player themselves or the management of that player? What is it? We can talk about that. So again, hopefully you're on the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page. We're going to talk about that tonight a little bit. Let me check and see if I got any callers. I don't. So here's one thing I want to talk about. Again, we're talking about the center position. Again, I'll run through some of the people that we could be talking about here, just to give you a little bit of, fuel to the fire. You got Alex Sarr, you got Zach, you got Donovan, you got Zach, the other Zach. One guy I do like, if we have multiple picks, Ron Holland. I mentioned him in our draft show. But again, what's up with the Hawks organization? Do we have a direction? Those are some of the topics that we can talk about throughout tonight. Now, someone earlier in the show, I believe it was Francis, asked me who my pick would be. It would be Sarr. And here's the reason why. If you watched my show earlier this afternoon, Game 80 of the 2023 season, where the Atlanta Hawks lost a 1-point game to the Charlotte Hornets at home. And if you watch every shot that I put up that the Charlotte Hornets made, you would know a little bit of a reason why I want Alex Sarr. So let me emphasize those things to you. Okay. So first of all, let me do this. Let me go ahead and actually read this real quick. So the 4 games that I've shown in Atlanta around the ATL side note series, I've showed the playing game for the Bulls, the Pacers game, which they scored 157 points, the Timberwolves game, which we lost that game 109-106, and then most recently today, the Hornets. Okay. I'm all over the place, and again, I apologize. It's going to be a long night for me. By the way, did you know that 157 the Pacers scored in Game 82 is not the first time they scored 150-plus points on the Hawks? In January, the Pacers scored 150 on us. They beat us 150-116. Now, the last game of the season, Clint didn't play that game, but the one in January, he did. So I'm going to just talk about the center position just very briefly, but then I'm going to get into why I'm talking about Sarr more than anybody else, okay? And I might, if I get a chance, I think I added them, I'll show you too. In that game in January that they scored 150 points, Clint was 4 for 9 from the field. He had 9 points. He had 7 rebounds in that game. He didn't play the fourth quarter in that game. Now, Miles Turner had 27 points in that game, okay? And so when I talk about having a center that can do multiple things, and in the world that we live now, you would think that you'd be mad that we don't have what almost all the other teams in the NBA have in one aspect or another when it comes to a big. They can hit a three-point shot. You can't leave them open. They can hit a 17-foot jumper. They can hit a 10-foot jumper. They can hit a 6-foot shot off the backboard. They have touch around the rim. They finish, okay? They hit their free throws, all right? But then also, they're a deterrent at the rim. So it's either or. You either have an offensive-minded center or you got a defensive-minded center where they're deterrent at the rim. They're getting 2, 3, 4 blocks a night. They're making sure that you think twice before you, I can't lay this up on this dude. He's going to smack me into the stands and Gucci rope, right? He's going to play post defense to, again, deter you from trying to make some moves. He's beating you to the spot. You see what I'm saying? And he's getting all the defensive rebounds. See, defensive rebounds are a little bit more valuable than offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds, a lot of times, are a result of missed shots by the same player. If you're not putting those shots back in either, that's a bad thing. It just is. It's basketball. The Hawks lost 21 games by 7 points or less. Out of the 4 games I've reviewed so far, we've lost 2 games by 3 points and 1 point. It matters when you're trying to win games, okay? Now, that being said, we need a threat on the offensive side and the defensive side, and unfortunately, Clint is not that person. Because if Clint can't shoot a three-pointer from anywhere, he's never shot a three-pointer, by the way. Not in the last 10 years. He's at 0%. How does that help you? He can't shoot a jumper. He can't finish inside, and he can't hit free throws. So definitely, we need him to be able to stop people then, right? I had to make sure I didn't have no callers. We have to make sure he can stop people. And time again, because I don't know why, he loves to overhelp. He loves to get out position. He loves to do things that puts other people in jeopardy. And if you watch the game that I reviewed earlier today, you see that. I'm about to show you some clips just to, re-emphasize it again. All right. And again, you either got to get someone who knows what they're doing or you got to get a coach to coach it out of you. And the Hawks, for some reason, refuse to get a big man coach. We just won't do it. We won't do it. Other teams have people, mentors or whatever, but the Hawks, nah, we ain't going to get nobody. And they're out there. Just like there's guys who teach you how to dribble the ball better. What's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's coaching all these other people, Juju and all these other people in college and the pros and stuff. But somebody on our team chooses not to improve his handles. We just have to watch the ball just dribble out his hands all the time. But anyway, so you got to have either or. You got to have either a common threat at the 5, so that way you're not playing 4-on-5 on offense and you're not losing easy buckets for no reason, or you got to have a stopper. Sarr falls into both. Want to know why? And if you watched the draft show that I did a couple of weeks ago, you've seen the footage. I'm not going to play any of that now. But he can deter people at the basket because he's trying to block all the shots. On the terrible switches, he won't leave his man at the top of the key to hit a wide open jumper because he done slid down and left his man wide open for some crazy reason. Basically saying, I'm not going to play defense no more. I'm just come down here where it's safe type of a deal. And again, this is just basketball we're talking about. I've been playing basketball for 40 years. You can't get away with this on the street ball court. Why should you get away with it when you're getting paid $30 million a freaking year? It makes no sense to do it. Why are you helping when you don't need help? Anyway, I'll show that in a little bit. But he could do all of those things, but definitely on offense, he can run the floor, by the way, and he can rebound, all right? But he also can shoot. He has a jumper. He has a fadeaway turnaround jumper. He has a 6-foot hit. He can hit it off the back of the square on the backboard. It's a thing he can do. It's normal. It's a natural thing. And he can get to the rim. He has all of that. And now he just has to be able to do it more. And with mentorship and coaching and playtime, he'll be able to do that. And then if he's playing with the best point guard in the league, my goodness, he's cutting to the rim. Guess what? He's going to finish. High post, pick and pop. Oh, my goodness. Because, see, all that stuff still counts. So you can't keep saying, oh, well, that's old school and all this kind of stuff. It works. It works. You can't stop it. Joel Embiid does it all the time. Joker does it all the time. And y'all not stopping those two guys. The Hawks definitely don't be stopping them. Joel just be getting 38 points for no reason. Why is that? Andre Drummond, 24 points, 25 boards. Why is that? Sabonis, 21 boards. Why is that? 8 and 33 points. Why is that? How is that acceptable to anybody? We have to have somebody who can equal out the production of the other. And 10 points a game ain't doing it. 8 points a game or 9 points a game ain't doing it. Okay? So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about real quick. So I'm pulling from the Pacers game that I mentioned, the second game, one of two games that the Pacers scored 150 points on the Hawks, right? Now, again, make sure you subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio page. Let me put that banner back up real quick. I want to make sure that y'all do that. 646-652-4479 is the number if you want to call in, or hit up the comment section in the YouTube or the Facebook page that you're watching right now if you have a comment. So earlier, again, I went through the Charlotte Hornets game, and just to give you a brief review of that, but watch it for yourself, I urge you. Trae Young didn't even play the fourth quarter. So all the points that happened in the fourth quarter, and we lost that game by 1 point, everybody's premise that Trae Young and Trae Young alone and his defense loses games, you got to throw that one out the window too, because he didn't even play the fourth quarter. All the points given up, you can't blame somebody who ain't on the floor. Just like the game before that with the Timberwolves. First 6 shots in the second quarter, Trae wasn't there. Last 5 shots of the fourth quarter, Trae wasn't there. So how is Ant-Man getting the buckets? How is Cat getting the buckets? How is all these people getting buckets if Trae is the hindrance of somebody doing their job? The Pacers game, they dropped 157 points on us. Trae didn't give up 157 points of that game. And, of course, the Bulls game, the play-in game, where White had 42 and Vucevic had 24. Trae doesn't guard Vucevic. In any galaxy, he doesn't. The first 2 shots of that game were layups on our center. And then DeRozan had 22 of his own as well. See, somebody just messaged me. Let's see if this is my co-host real quick. He sent the voicemail, so I can't listen to that right now. Unless I go to commercial break, which I can do now. Because guess what? I do have the audio. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this. Haven't played that in a long time. So anyway, so let's go to the video. So I'm just play these clips. I'm not even going to give y'all no commentary like I usually would. I'm going to just play these all the way through to the last one, and then we'll get back into the draft, okay? And he sent me 2 of them. All right, here's the first one.
Nobody's benefited more from playing with Tyrese than Miles Turner. He's been able to put him in position to make plays, catch the ball, giving him confidence.
Murray again, too strong off the glass. Capella, and they gang rebound, and Halliburton tiptoes along the end line. Yeah, good to see Bruce Brown out there again. Andrew Nembhard missing his 2nd consecutive game out due to injury. He was in the starting lineup as the Pacers started this win streak. That's a miss by Capella, rebounded by Turner.
Enough to freeze the defense.
He had missed 5 straight games with a right knee bone bruise. Had 15 points the other night against Milwaukee. That's a blocked shot. These are 2 teams that average better than 14 made threes per game. Turner again in the center of the floor. Goes inside against Bay. And a foul. Again, the Pacers had great balance. They had 4 starters in double figures. Jalen Smith was one of those with 11. Halliburton was the only starter not in double figures as Turner starts with a jump shot.
This is where the psychology comes in. You want to make sure that Toppin gets rewarded for the fact that he played well.
Bay misses, rebound, there's Capella, and he missed it again, and that's Pacers ball. Trent Forrest is in for Atlanta, also Bogdan Bogdanovic. As Turner's jump shot good, Pacers lead by 5.
I can't tell you how good that pass is. Capella, that's how he makes his living. But you got to be ready to shoot that.
Halliburton gets in, finds Turner, and Turner lays it in.
Now, please explain to me. And again, the number to call in the show is 646-652-4479. How is any of that acceptable to any of y'all? Explain it to me. Tell me how y'all cool with that. That's in the same game. That's all in the same game. How is all of what you just saw, you synced it for yourself, you synced it, how is that acceptable? So first of all, on the defensive side, again, you see Clint helping when he don't need the help. His man, on the pick, this man got through the screen. He didn't get beat. He's with his man. But Clint, no matter what, he's looking at the player with the ball instead of staying with his man. Now, we can always say communication comes back into play, right? Let me put that up real quick. Did I delete it already? I don't think I did. Yeah, there it goes. Communication on the court, we can say that. But at a certain point, ain't it just reading recognition? Why can't he do that? Why can't he recognize that he's putting his team in a poor position defensively by leaving his man every single time? I think that's absurd. Because what's the result? Points every time. Points every time. Either at the basket or a wide open jumper. Because he's left his man. Time and time again. And then, of course, on the offensive side, he ain't finishing. He can't finish. What if Clint Capella could shoot like Miles Turner? And why isn't it a requirement? See, that's, again, when we're talking about, United States players and international players and a whole bunch of people, especially all the experts, quote unquote, keep talking about the AAU issues and things of that nature. I think Kobe Bryant back in the day had an interview talking about that we ain't teaching them the right way. Overseas, all the fundamentals, everything. You got to do everything before you even get on this court. Here, oh, can you run fast? Can you jump high? Woo-hoo-hoo. All right. But they can't shoot. They can't shoot a free throw. They have no touch under the back. They have no developed move. They don't have nothing. They can't find their man for the block out. I talk about that all the time. When I play basketball, a couple of my easiest shots are just me blocking out. Nobody else can get around me. Ball comes to me. I put it right back up. I ain't bringing the ball down. What are we doing? I'm the tallest person out here. What are we doing? But besides that, I got post position. I got the advantage. Give me the ball. So now guess what? I can make some decisions. If you cut left or right, I can give you a layup. I'm clearing my man out for you. You slide left or right, I'm giving you a wide open three-pointer. You might miss it, but shoot it anyway. We don't have that on our team. It's impossible. Don't y'all think that's messed up? That we can't ever have that aspect on our team? Because, again, not having it, how many games do we win each year, y'all? As opposed to all the other teams that have a semblance of that, or more than that, or double that. You see what I'm saying? Like the Pacers when they got Siakam. They had Turner, now they got Turner and Siakam. That pair put up 30 points apiece in the 157 game that they dropped on the Hawks, game 82. Go watch the film on that. IMTN Worldwide Radio. Go watch the film on that one. It's crazy. It's crazy. But why don't we do that? If it's just a matter of communication, then again, is it coaching or is it the players or is it both? Why don't you know where your man is? In the game that I reviewed today in Charlotte, there are so many times, again, where you got players not even looking at where their man is. They're looking literally on, they're ball watching on the other side of the court, and they do not know where their man is, to the point where they're cutting to the rim and getting layups. Or hitting wide open threes because you're 15 feet away, you're 20 feet away. How are you in the paint and you're guarding somebody who don't even have the ball? How can you have two people on one person who doesn't even have the basketball? Know where your man is. One of the reasons that we give up the second chance points that we do and the points in the paint is over helping. And I do this every game. I did this 2023 season. I did this 2022 season. I believe I did the 2021 season as well. After every loss, I pulled it up and said, well, look at the points in the paint. Look at the fast break points. Look at the second chance points. Look at the three-point percentage given up. In that Hornets game, let's see, do I have it pulled up still? In that Hornets game, the Hornets, is this it? Yeah. Hornets had 50 points in the paint. They only had 4 second chance points, but that was basically because they were hitting everything in the paint that they had. They had 13 fast break points. They hit 38% from 3. But Grant Williams had 16 points in that game. He was 5 of 6, 2 of 3 from 3, and almost all of his points were because people overhelped. Clint wouldn't stay with him for nothing. Clint wouldn't stay with him. Miller had 27 points. He was 9 for 17 in the game. For some reason, Vitt wasn't on him. You know who was playing him a lot of the time? Bogey, for some crazy reason. Think about that. Just think about that. But if you watch the film, you'll see how many times Bogey was never nowhere near his man. And because of that, Bogey gave up Bogey in that Hornets game 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21 points in that game he gave up. But see, here's the thing about giving up points. At least even out the production. That's all I ask. If you give up 21, you need to score 21, right? Gotta do it. You gotta figure that out. So when Joel or Joker or Porzingis or Allen over in Cleveland Town, they're giving us 20 and 10. We gotta get 20 and 10 from the center position somehow. Why don't we want that here? 646-652-4479. If you want to call in, you got a comment, or if you want to post in the YouTube page, you got to post there because that's the only way I can see it, because that's the only where I'm at. I'm live right now, y'all. So that being said, I almost want to play all. I don't really want to go through the whole game. I guess I could throw a couple of them in there from the first quarter, I guess, from the Hornets game. Mismatches and things of that nature. Let's see if I can pick one out, because again, we're talking about the center position specifically. So let's see if I can give y'all an example of the Hornets game. We lost by 1 point. Is this one right here? No, I don't want to use that one. Actually, you know what? I will use this one. So I'm trying to pick one for y'all. Give me a second. Let's see. Here we go. So 10th shot of the second quarter. I'm gonna do a random one real quick. 10th shot of the second quarter of the Hornets game, game 80 of the 2023 season. I guess I could do a little description for you. So Clint has Williams, or at least he's supposed to be. Missick had drove to the basket. There's the shot. Vitt is on him. Now, for some reason, Missick stops driving to the basket. He had a layup, okay? Missick ends up passing the ball to Williams, who's wide open because Clint is not on him, and he shoots a 3. Now, in this particular possession, I actually say if Missick had drove all the way and laid it up, I would have said that would have been on Trey, because Trey was the help defender. Another thing we don't do well on our team as a team is help defend. Mostly because we keep putting people in bad positions in the first place for overhelping, but nevertheless. But that didn't happen in this particular possession, and Williams is left wide open. So I'll play that real quick.
Grant Williams.
Why is Clint where he was at? See, when you got to have pride to play defense. You have to say, okay, who am I guarding? What's my assignment? Oh, I got him. Okay, he ain't scoring, And there it is. See, whenever I play, whoever I get put on, I got to stop that person from scoring. That's my goal. So wherever that person goes, I'm going. I don't care what's going on behind me. I can hear it. People can say, hey, Chris, left, right, if it's a pick coming. Chris, you by yourself. Maybe I got switched on Ja Morant or somebody, right? And I said this in the show. Go watch it. But I have help because I have teammates who also want to win. We're not selfish. You see what I'm saying? We let each other know what's going on. And if one of our guys gets beat, guess what? We got to pick up. We're not going to just let the guy lay the ball up because somebody got beat because they were really fast or they did a tricky dribble or whatever. If they're coming down the lane and I'm there, no, you're getting blocked, you're getting fouled. Take the ball out. You ain't going to just lay this up. For us, it's different. It's a layup every time almost. It's a layup almost every time. It looks like I got one comment. Hopefully it's cool. So what do you think the best thing for the Hawks should do? So first of all, I don't think we should trade out the pick, Gabriel. And there was a part of me that at first I would have said I would have been all right if we did get Donovan instead of Sarr, but that was a very brief moment. I don't think we should settle. Because, and this is just going, again, tape means something and then it don't mean nothing. It's just, you know, eye of the beholder or whatever. But at a certain point, when you look at 25 minutes, 30 minutes of tape and you don't see a person shoot a jumper, there's something wrong there. Okay? When you don't even make an attempt, and this is all your video footage, all your highlights, and we don't see you doing this from, not, you don't got to be the top of the 3 key, but not even in at the free throw line. Like with Sarr, you got tons of footage of him shooting jumpers from all over the place and hitting too. And nothing but net too. Form, it's called. Okay? And then on the inside, being able to drive to the basket and hitting. Drive to the basket with contact and hitting. Because when you can shoot, you can shoot. Do you get that? Do you get the understanding of what that means? So that's why I say you get Sarr. Now, if whatever if all kind of bad, crazy stuff happens, and we did trade out the pick, I have said if we get 2 picks, we can get my man Ron Holland. I like him from Ignite, and then we get Edey as our big. But see, in the midst of all that, I have said, and I'll run through it real quick because Gabriel asked. Thanks for the question. 646-652-4479 is the number. I said we should have gotten Caruso. Use some of our current players to go get Caruso. Go get KD, Kevin Durant. Okay. Go get OG. Okay. Sign Drummond. Sign Pat Bev. Okay. So that way you have 3 layers of coverage. Because one of the reasons we lost 47 games because we had everybody hurt. It wasn't just Trae Young out for 28 games. You had Trae Young out and Sadiq Bey and Okongwu and Jalen Johnson out all at the same time at a certain point for weeks on end. So don't say we were better without Trae Young when we weren't. We lost 14 games. We were not better without Trae and Sadiq and Okongwu and Jalen Johnson. You think we're better without Jalen Johnson? Say that out loud 3 times, right? But if we had depth of skilled players who can actually ball, we'd be better off. So if we could have gotten Caruso, which we could have gotten, we would have had Trae, Caruso, Kevin Durant, Jalen Johnson, and Sarr. Then coming off the bench, you got Kobe, Bogey, OG, Kool Moji, Mohamed Gay, and the big O Okongwu. And then on the last bit of that, you'd have Drummond, you have Pat Bev, you have Seth, I think he deserves a shot. Keep Garrison, and you keep Vitt. You keep Garrison because he can hit a 3. Okay? You keep Vitt because he'll be our toolbox guy. He should have been in the Chicago game. We probably would have won that game, but we had to get Trent Forrest instead. He's a baller. He didn't even play in that game, but we had to sign him and not let Vitt play. That's the kind of direction. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think we should have did. But now that we can't get Caruso, maybe we can get Herb. Okay, we need to have somebody who's a defensive first team, second team guy getting defensive player of the year votes of some sort. We have to get those type of guys here if we can't get nobody to coach it. We got to have guys who already know what to do. See, I know what to do playing 40 years of basketball and continually getting better at stuff by talking. And even after a loss, like Sunday night, we lost this one game because one kid hit 5 threes on us. Boy, couldn't miss. He had never hit 5 threes before in his life. He's a 17-year-old who plays with us. We're all in our late 40s and stuff. But he couldn't miss. Step back threes. Whatever. And we sitting down, it was like, man, what could we have did? Because the guy I had, he's too fast. I couldn't really lay off of him because he would have been a wide open layup, right? And it was just like I couldn't help. I couldn't switch. It was a tough situation. Who's your pick, bro? Folks say you don't want to be here. I don't care what. Okay, so here's that part. So here's the organization part. Let me put that word up there. Here's the organization part of things. F what everybody says. If you're the boss, you get who you want. And you sit down with that player and you offer him a contract. Now, if he don't sign the contract, you have his draft rights. Now you can go will and deal. You can't will and deal off of speculation, though. Can't do it. You can't do it. That's not power. That's weakness. We got the #1 pick for the first time since the 70s. Do I need to pull up again? I guess I'll do it. Doggone it. I'll do it real quick. 646 646-652-4479 is the number if you want to call in. So far, I haven't had no callers yet. I'm not going to be here all night tonight, y'all. I gotta drive to Atlanta tomorrow, so it's going to be an early show. Here is, since I'm gonna go all the way back to 1985 now. All right, so so 85. We actually had Arvydas Sabonis, but we gave him away for peanuts. In 85, 86 is when we used to draft like 50 people, right? So we drafted John Battle, serviceable. John Concack, 1985. All right, let me keep going. 1986, Volkov, Alexander Volkov was in there among the 8 people that we drafted. Nobody else made it pretty much. I think Cedric Henderson, I guess, played. No, he didn't play nothing. Games. Billy Thompson, he didn't come to the Hawks. Ron Kellogg, he didn't come to the Hawks. Jim Less, I don't even want to go to that no more. 1987, nobody. We drafted 8 people, none of them made it. 1988, Anthony Taylor, he played some games for the Hawks, 21 games total. 1989, Roy Marble, Haywood Workman. Played 359 games here. No centers except for John Concack so far, right? 1990, Ramil Robinson, y'all remember him. 1991, Plastic Man, Stacey Oddman. We also got Anthony Avent, but we didn't keep him. Rodney Monroe, he played 38 games here. 1992, Adam Keefe, number 10 in the draft. 1993, Rich Manning and Doug Edwards. Y'all remember Doug Edwards from Florida State. 1994, Galen Nickerson. 1995, Hindu. 1996, here's a center. Here's our guy, Priest Lauderdale from Central State University. I'll keep going. 1997, Chris Crawford. I really did think Chris Crawford was going to be something. There was that one basketball game. I thought he was balling out of control. I thought he was going to be the second coming of somebody, but it didn't work out. Ed Gray, we also got Ed Gray in that, excuse me, in that draft. 1998, Rashawn McLeod. 1999, Jermaine Jones, Deion Glover, Cal Bowler, and of course Jason Terry, which he did well for our Hawks, but he wasn't a center. 2000, DeMar Johnson, Hanno, Scooney Penn. 2001, we did have Pau Gasol, but we didn't keep him. He went to the Vancouver Grizzlies. 2002, David Anderson. 2003, Boris Diaw. 2004, Jay Chill, Jay Smooth. Royal Ivy. 2005, Marvin. Celine Stoudemire. 2006, Sheldon Effin Williams. 2007, Al Horford. So at that point, that's our only legit center, which technically was a power forward, but he played center, that the Hawks have had. He was drafted in 2007, okay? 2009, Jeff Teague. 2010, Damian Jones. Pop C, Pop Side, whatever. 2011, Keith Benson played 3 games. 2012, John Jenkins and Mike Dam Scott. Mike was the man for a time. 2013, Dennis Shane. 2014, Adrian Payne, another center, didn't work out, didn't play, didn't let him play. He actually went overseas and actually had some decent time overseas. Eddie Tavares. So there's a center, there's a big right there. Okay, that's one. 2007 to 2014, 7 years went by before we drafted another. 2015, Kelly Oubre, of course we didn't keep him. 2016, Kay Felder, DeAndre Bembry. I like DeAndre, he played pretty good. 2017, John Collins, Tyler Dorsey, Alpha Kaba. Alpha Kaba, of course, didn't play here. John Collins, of course, is the only other Hawk drafted besides Trae Young to ever have a 19 points a game average in the season, a 20 game points average in the season. He actually had 21 points, 19 and 21 back-to-back seasons. Drafted. The only one. The only one. That was 2017 all the way through. Nobody else. 2018, you know who got drafted here, along with Kevin Huerter and Amari Spellman. 2019, Jackson Hayes. Of course, he didn't play here. Cam Reddish, you know what happened with him. 2020, Okongwu, which technically he's a power forward at best. 2021, Jalen. 2022, AJ. And 2023, Kobe and Seth. That's our draft history. Still no callers. That's interesting. So that's our draft history. So that's where I went into the question of, well, do we have a direction? Because how do you let that happen over 30, 40, 50 years? How do you let us get to 2 games to the NBA Finals and then do nothing? How do you let 2022 season happen where the Hawks lost 12 plus games when we had a 10-point lead or less, and then go to 2023 and we make no moves? And then lose 21 games by 7 points or less. How do you let that happen? With an owner who says he's a billionaire and he's balling out of control and he's going to pay the luxury tax, whatever it is, to make us competitive, and he's done everything the opposite of that. People see that. People still remember the fact that the Hawks organization traded Dominique Wilkins, who never made an Eastern Conference final. Right? Never stopped Larry Bird, Jordan, Pistons. But Dominique's job wasn't to stop people. His was to score points. He did that job pretty good. He retired top 10 in NBA scoring all time. Pretty good. Nobody hates Dominique, though. Do the Hawks have a direction? Seamlessly not, when you just put it in those words. Because I just went through the draft for us right now. I showed y'all some footage earlier. If you go back through the last few episodes of Around the ATL Side Notes, again, I've shown y'all 4 games so far. Bulls, Pacers, Wolves, Hornets. We lost all those games. The Pacers game, we gave up 80 points in the paint, 52% from 3. The Bulls playing game, we gave up 72 points in the paint and 42% from 3. So many wide open threes, run-ups, people not stopping the ball at the half-court mark, people not getting to their man, people letting other people do their job and creating a mismatch that wasn't forced. Somebody got to pick up somebody. Sometimes I would sing the one old song, but y'all wouldn't know that song. So, start Sarr if we get him, Gabriel asked. Yes. Yes. So when I mentioned my dream lineup of having Trae Young, Caruso, Kevin Durant, I should say, Jalen Johnson, Sarr would be starting right off the jump. He's the #1 pick. Play him. Quit playing. Don't even play around. Because his ability, sheer, youth, is going to get you 10 points a game automatically, right off the jump. That's what Clint averages now. What's going to add to his average is Trae Young getting him the ball and him being able to finish. And then when he has a wide open shot, guess what he can do? He can actually go up and put it in the basket instead of passing it out to somebody when he's right there in the paint because he don't know what to do with it. He's the center. He's the big man, but you always see Clint passing it back out. Usually it ends up being a turnover because people are trying to figure out why he ain't putting it back up, and he's trying to give it to somebody who ain't even open. That ain't good. And he's not a good passer on top of that. Sarr is actually a decent passer on top of everything else. Right now. See, when you have somebody who right now can do those things, it makes you feel good about what he can do over the next 10 years. When you don't see somebody who never does it, that's a bad sign. Again, how are y'all cool with 10 years going by and Clint still can't hit 75% from the free throw line and can't hit a 10-foot jumper? If Clint could just hit a 10-foot jumper, he'd be a 17-point-a-game guy his whole career. He'd be a threat. I don't need him to drive to the basket. I just need him to pick and pop every now and then, freaking blue moon. I don't need him to shoot threes. I just need him to hit a clear 15-footer like Vucevic did to us in that Bulls game over and over and over freaking again. That's all I need. And if we're not going to do that, what are we talking about? What do you think about Bruno? I'm sorry. I didn't show too much Bruno footage. Bruno got to go too. I'm sorry. Do I need? Okay, I see if I can give y'all a Bruno clip or two. Well, I can't. What I would suggest you do is go and watch Game 82 review on Around the ATL on IMT and Worldwide Radio. Make sure you subscribe and go watch the Pacers review, and you watch what Bruno did in that game. You can't do it. I'm sorry. I just again, at a certain point, all players have to take a responsibility and accountability for different weaknesses that they might have. But when you're relied upon something on certain things, you got to just be able to do certain things. Coaching will help up to a point, but you still naturally got to be having tendencies to be able to know not to keep over helping and not to just be looking at, can't you block your man out at least? It's unnerving. So no, we are a better team without Bruno if we can get Drummond. Drummond's 30 years old. He's a vet. He's going to rebound. He's going to get you 9-10 rebounds a game no matter what. Put him in the game. 15 minutes, he's going to get you 10 rebounds. And they're all going to be defensive rebounds to prevent second chance points. Bad front office, correct. Clint, Bruno, and who else? So of course, if I said Trae, Caruso, KD, JJ, and Sarr, so obviously that means that DJ is not here, Hunter is not here, Clint is not here, right? That means Sadiq Bey is not here, right? That means AJ probably would not be here. There could be a way to, but he's probably not here either. So am I missing anybody? Bogey is here. Bogey, Garrison, and Vic, and Seth. Everybody else outside of them would be gone, basically. Okay. Wes, gone. Trent, gone. Stop playing, right? Come on. Because again, we had 9 players average 6 points or less on our team last year. There's no way to counter that if none of them can stop nobody and they're only scoring 6 points or less. You can't compete in the league like that. We only had 2 players on our team that could average 20 points a game in our starting lineup. That's Trey and DJ. You see what I'm saying? You can't compete like that. You can't. The only legit player we had on our bench this year was Bogey and his 17 points a game. We would have lost a whole lot more games if Bogey wasn't here because he couldn't rely on nobody else. Remember, the Hawks did nothing to add to the people that we lost from a year ago. We have a worse roster this year than we had in 2022. You got to get that. Remember, DJ and JJ played off, not DJ, but Sadiq Bey and JJ played off the bench last year. And JC was starting. He had the worst season ever, but he was still playing defense and rebounding for us, though. He was only going to have a bad shooting year once. That 15 and 8 would have came in real handy this year, believe you me. Okay? And 37% from 3 would have came in real and a block a game would have came in real handy this year. Don't you agree? So that's what you got to look at. Again, it's cumulative. We're basically missing 3 position players from a year ago. And then Bey actually gets hurt. So now you're missing him. Then Trey gets hurt. You're missing him. That's 2 starters right there you're missing. Hunter was missing. So that's another starter you missed. Right? Jalen Johnson, another starter, was missing. And then Okongwu, one of your main people off the bench. We missed 5 main people this year, folks. And we had nothing to pick them up. Oh, Chris, well, what about that 6 or 7 stretch? Yeah, finally, some people did their jobs a little bit better than normal. But it only lasted for a half a second because we didn't win the rest of the year. What happened? What happened before that? Why couldn't they play better before that? Because if they had did that while all these players were out, we could have treaded water and had a chance still. But since that didn't happen, 47 losses. It ain't brain surgery. I'm trying to see if I can pick up. Let's see. Oh, here's one. 6 shot. What quarter is this? 3rd quarter. So let's watch this real quick. So 3rd quarter, 6 shot. So Kobe has Terrence Mann. Bruno's on Bolden. Bolden comes up and sets a pick on Kobe. Man drives with Kobe on his hip. Garrison is the help defense. But, of course, Bruno commits to Man no matter what. So once that happens, guess what Man can do? Pass to Bolden for the easy bucket. Because, again, overhelping is mandatory for some reason with us. So I just lost it just that quick. 6 shot, 3rd quarter. 6. Here it is.
Second unit is getting it done.
Lob and the dunk by Bolden. 3rd-year man from Duke.
You stay with your man. It's easy. You stay with your man. You stay with your man, and you have to hope your help defense comes up and stops the ball. Make them do something different. Again, I've been playing for 40 years. Unless you're actually going to actually double somebody, you don't need to leave your man. If the other guy fights through the screen, I'm not looking at that guy. If he gets beat, he gets beat. If he dies, he dies. Rocky, right? Or, guess what? You got to pace it to where you can still be the help defender, but don't leave the man open for a doggone lob. You can do it, because I've done it. And I'm old. I'm in my late 40s. If I can do it, Bruno can do it. Clint can do it. And they never do. You know what they do? They stare. They stare at the point guard like he's a quarterback, like they're a defensive back or something. Let me see if I can find a really egregious one. I can't remember what quarter it was though. I just did that one, so let's see. I'm trying to find it because it really actually made me upset. And I said it on the show how mad I was about it because it kept happening. That's Bertrand's 3. I think I played this one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, no, this is it. All right, so let me show y'all this one. This is what I'm talking about. 7th shot. What quarter is this? Second quarter. 7th shot, second quarter. 7th shot.
The correct score is 45-44. They just took a Trent Forrest basket away that they say came after the shot clock buzzer. Baseline jam for JT Thor.
That is not the right shot. Actually, though, it does still show you something. Bruno in this case. So let me play it again since I played the wrong one. Let me play this one again.
The correct score is 45-44. They just took a Trent Forrest basket away that they say came after the shot clock buzzer. Baseline jam for JT Thor.
That's all on Bruno. Bruno wasn't supposed to be on Missick in the first place. He backs up and he's looking at Williams. Did he double Williams? Did he say, hey, I got him now? No, he's just bouncing around like he's a strong safety in the NFL. And what happens? People cut, people pass, layup, because he's out of position and causes everybody out to be out of position. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't have no defensive discipline. You can't do that. And he and Clint do it a lot. And there are centers. So if it's a coaching thing or if it's a personal thing, we don't need it anymore. One or the other. I'm trying to find the one with Clint, though, because that was the one that really, I don't know if I'm able to kind of find it off the fly here. I didn't plan on doing this tonight like this. But if you go watch the episode earlier this morning, it aired at 12 o'clock. Goodness, I'm really wanting to show you all this one, though. I'll see if I can find it. Is this it? No, that's not it. Third quarter. Oh, maybe this is it. Let's see if this is it. I think this is it. 8th shot. Second quarter.
On the drive, Bruce McGowan's laying it in.
Well, that's too easy, too. I mean,
actually, I don't think this is it either. But again, why is Clint on Missick? Why is he on the point guard? Williams drives to the basket, gets the ball. You got 3 Hawks standing in the paint, watching, not guarding their man. Williams passes it to Bridges, passes it to McGowan's. Nobody is guarding him. Vic comes out. McGowan's just walks down to a layup. Clint's right there. Doesn't stop it. But that's still not the one I'm looking for. I'm going to find it. Now I'm mad. I'm going to see if I can find this sucker. But I got some comments, so I'll see if I can read and find this at the same time. So what should be our trade? Going to the draft party? No. Oh, shoot. That is tomorrow, ain't it? I'll be in Atlanta. I didn't anticipate that. I didn't know. That's interesting. Maybe I should go. That would make it not a complete waste to go up for one photo shoot. I can go to the draft party. I ain't gonna be really dressed for that though, but I'll think about it. Gabriel, I'll think about that. So if we were to make a trade, who would you trade for? Other than who I already mentioned? Are you talking about if we traded the pick? Or we're talking about, trading players for players or whatnot? So Clint already answered that one. So what should our trade? Like I said, we didn't get Caruso. Caruso was my number one priority, but now he's gone. So I would say do what you gotta do to try to get Herb in here, or Lou Dort possibly even as well. Okay. Or like I said, if you can sign OG, if you can get OG, heck, put him at shooting guard. Put him in the starting lineup. Trae Young, OG, KD, JJ, and Sarr. I live with that. Then you would have Kobe, Bogey, and then we'd have to kind of figure out who would be the small forward at that point. I still would want to have another defensive small forward somehow from somewhere. Okay. And then Mohamed Gay, and then and then you still have Drummond, and the rest of the guys that I mentioned earlier. But like I said, I would rather see if we can get two people and have either Herb or OG at shooting guard and have Herb or OG as the backup small forward for Kevin Durant. So when Kevin Durant comes off the bench, we locking you down. See, again, we don't have nobody that has pride to say, Ant-Man, I seen you in those commercials, but I'm stopping you here, son. Kobe, get away. I got him. I'm not letting him hit these shots now. We would have won that Minnesota game that we lost by 3 points if somebody either just stopped him on those two shots or doubled him at least. If you go watch that Minnesota game, the last shot that Ant hit, Garrison is standing right there in the paint. Illegal defense because he was nowhere near his man. His man was on the other side at the three-point line, by the way. Seriously, this happened. And Garrison just left Kobe on an island, and Ant turn around, fadeaway jumper off the backboard. Swish. Can't do that. Can't be that selfish. Just can't be that selfish. Is this it? Let me see. Eighth shot. Is this the first quarter? Oh, this is maybe that's why I can't find it. So let's try this one. So if we were to make a trade, who should you trade for? Do you think we draft Sarr? I think we draft Sarr. I mean, with all the craziness and everything, I know it sounds impossible, but I still think we get him. I still think we will have his draft rights, and his name is going to be called out first. I believe that. Now, what happens after that, I don't know. But again, it's just a matter of somebody got to do something right for the Hawks. The fans deserve it. The players deserve it. The ones who want to be here at a certain point, who don't get traded. We can't do this no more. We can't do what it ain't. This is so. Eighth shot, first quarter. Let's watch this real quick.
30-year-old veteran, a EuroLeague star. First time in the NBA. On the cut, Pokashevsky. That's going to drop in. 7-footer from Serbia.
You see what happens when you play out of position and you don't even look to stay with your man, and all the bad stuff that happened on that one possession? Because Clint keeps deciding that no matter what happens, even if it's not even a screen, there were so many times in the 4 games I've reviewed so far that it's not even a screen. It's a slip screen. It's a bubble. It's a half-hearted, I'm going to just come and look like I'm going to set a pick, but I ain't going to pick. And the centers for our teams don't even stay with, they're looking at the guard. And like they're going to go, they come out all the way to the three-point line. Let me play this again.
30-year-old veteran, a EuroLeague star. First time in the NBA. On the cut, Pokashevsky. That's going to drop in. 7-footer from Serbia.
Do you see how that ended up? And then still at the end, how come Clingan didn't block that? Points in the paint. They have 50 of them. Let me make sure I don't have no callers. 646-652-4479. What's the time? It's 11 o'clock. Get out of here soon, y'all, because, again, I got to start packing and get ready for this trip to Atlanta tomorrow. And I appreciate everybody listening and watching the show so far. Again, this was not going to be so much a draft show, but we're going to talk about it per the position and the organization and direction more so than anything. If you want to watch the draft show that we did earlier in the month, go to Around the ATL on IMTM Worldwide Radio on YouTube and go to episode 126, I believe it is. Go check it out. No problem, Francis. Like I said, y'all message me, I'll answer. But like I said, if you look at the Hornets game earlier today, and it's frustrating. And again, if the reason that we lose these games is Trey, you can't keep saying that when I keep showing you the opposite. Okay? You can't keep doing it. You see what I'm saying? In the fourth quarter, let me put it to you like this. In the fourth quarter of that Charlotte game, game number 80 of the regular season, the fourth quarter, Trey is pulled. The Hawks are leading 92-77, and we lost that game 115-114. Trae Young didn't play the fourth quarter. So again, if people have the premise that it's Trey's fault that we lose all these games because of his defense, how do you explain the fourth quarter? No one can. Look, let me show y'all this real quick. Let's see. Oh, this is one that got me mad too. This is the first. This is how you knew we were going to lose. Watch the first shot of the fourth quarter. I'm not going to explain it first. I'm going to just play it, and then I'm going to explain it later. I'm going to explain what actually happened. I'm not explaining it as if I'm making up stuff that happened. I'm just telling you what happened, okay? In fact, no, I'm going to do like I usually do. Because the thing is, with this program, I can't pause it. So what I do is I give you what happens before you see it so you have an understanding of where everybody is on the floor and stuff like that so you can see it for yourself. And then we talk about it. So I'll go ahead and do it as I usually would in a show. So first shot, fourth quarter, score is 92-77. Mann is bringing the ball up, Terrence Mann. He passes to Miller, okay? He runs into Garrison. Now, Garrison falls down. There is no foul call. Garrison falls down, and he doesn't get up. Miller passes it to Williams. Garrison is still on the floor. He hasn't gotten up yet. Williams then drives and kicks back to Miller, who's clapping for the ball because he's wide freaking open. Why? Because Garrison's still on the floor. Garrison finally gets up, but it's too late. And Miller hits a wide open three. So now all of a sudden it's 92-80. And it's the beginning of the end from there. So let me show you the first shot of the fourth quarter of the Charlotte Hornets game, game number 80 of the 2023 season. There it is.
Here come the Hornets. Grant Williams gives to Miller. Defender fell down, Garrison Matthews, and he was barking about it.
Miller had 27 points in that game. How is that Trey's fault? How are the 13 shots that Charlotte hit in the fourth quarter, how are any of those Trey's fault? Nobody can explain it to me. Trey gave up 4 points in that particular game. But even in the Pacers game where he gave up, I believe, 22 points, 6 of those points was because he had to guard Siakam and Turner at the three-point line because the people who were supposed to stick them wasn't sticking them, and they hit three-pointers on him. Other than that, he only gave up 18 points in that game. I say only because the Pacers scored 157. It ain't Trey's fault that we lose these games. No, Trey is not the best defender in the world. No one has ever claimed he is. And he's gotten better over the years, and that's easily seen. His stats and everything shows that. His ability to take charges. He's one of the team leader in charges on the team. He gets in front of people. He gets to his spot. He gets back on defense more than not. Yeah, he has some dumbfounding moments, but not so much like these other players on our team where they're never on their guy. Like never, ever, ever. Never going to get it, never going to. Ever, ever, ever on their guy. Ever. Like Bogey. Like Clint. Like Bruno. Ever. Bruno in that game, in this Hornets game, gave up. Why didn't I put the totals? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18 points himself. You can't do that. We lost the game in the fourth quarter because of why? Like, okay, here's another one then. Let's see if y'all like this shot. 7th shot.
That's 19 for Beat. A new season high. Richards gets 2 of them back.
Ain't nobody playing their man. There was a second there where you got 3 players on one guy. Backs are turned to everybody else, what you're supposed to be guarding. I'm looking for something. Oh, here we go. 4th shot.
Brandon Miller looking on Veed up top. Here's Trey, man for 3, and he drills it. And this is a 97-88 game.
Explain that. Y'all want to see that again? Let me show you.
Brandon Miller looking on beat up top. Here's Trey, man for three, and he drills it. And this is a 97-88 game.
I don't care what anybody says. You can't leave your man. You can't leave your man. You can't be looking and looking and looking and looking at everybody else but your guy. You gotta be almost grabbing them. Grab them and hold them. I didn't want to do the Charles Barkley. See, when you're banging a guy, gonna miss TNT, boy. We don't play team defense well. It's the whole team. It's all 12, 13, 14 players. We don't know how to block out. We can't ever find, the ball is in the air. The Minnesota game, Conley had a shot, a jumper. It was an air ball. Rudy's under the basket. Clint is under the basket. Clint is looking at the ball. He didn't block out Rudy at all. Rudy gets the ball, puts it up. Rudy Gobert had 25 points in that game and 19 rebounds. Where was Clint? Go watch that review, because that should really make you mad for the fact we lost that game by 3 points. And the points in the paint that we gave up in that game. We don't know how to block out. We don't know how to rotate. We don't know how to switch. We can't fight through screens. And when we do fight through screens, we still act like the screen wasn't fought through. That's crazy. We don't get back on defense, right? Second chance points that we give up, right? 3-point percentage because we don't know how to rotate. They shot 38% from three. How many threes did you see so far that I've shown? I've only shown you a couple of them. Remember, Grant Williams hit 2 or 3 himself. We lost this game by 1 point. Saw Brandon Miller just hit a wide open one. You saw Terrence Mann hit a wide. Oh, these are wide open. Like, come on, guys. And Trae Young ain't on the floor. But even if he was on the floor, guess what? It's not his guys getting all the points. Remember, in the first show I did as far as the reviews of these games, I brought it up. The Atlanta Hawks gave up 2,500 points to shooting guards this year. That's 30 points a game by the shooting guard. Small forward position dropped 27 a game on us this year. 27. Trae Young don't guard neither of those positions. Doesn't guard the power forward position or the center position. Now, if a switch happens or whatever, it is his responsibility to do his best. But why do you expect 6'1" Trae Young to stop 7-footers? I don't get that. I don't see how that's reasonable, personally. I, as a man, would not let my 5'4" point guard who I'm supposed to be guarding, because I'm having a tussle handling this 6 foot, 300-pound guy myself. There's one guy, we call him Juggernaut. He's literally like 5 foot something and 300 pounds. Maybe 280, but he might as well be 300. I can hold him. I can stop him just because of my size and strength. But if I don't get back to my man, if I allow myself to get picked instead of hedging a little bit and just letting people go through, you don't have to accept the pick, you know. You see what I'm saying? It's like, why aren't the fundamentals known on our team? I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? I can't fathom why that's such a hard thing to consider. Uh-oh. Man, I'm sad that I didn't get no calls tonight. This is the first time I did a call-in show in like months, because the company that handles that particular program hasn't been working. They've had to give me refunds and credits and all kind of stuff. So the first time it works, didn't get any calls. So I'm kind of disappointed because I'm about to get off in a second, get off the show. So again, do me a favor. Tell other people about the show. Okay, you can follow, again, if you're Instagram or Facebook person, IMTN Worldwide Radio is on both Facebook and Instagram under IMTN Worldwide Radio. Okay. You can follow me on Twitter, Intellect ATL. Our co-host Jordan Jackson, 23 ATL. So if you see me tweet back, you know, share a couple of things. I'm always posting on there. Intellect ATL, it's right there. It's right there. But definitely follow the YouTube channel for me. I really appreciate that. We've been on the air for a long time. We've had a lot of guests on our show too, because we talk all sports. When we do the 2-hour show, which this was not supposed to be a 2-hour show, but we talk Georgia sports and Atlanta sports. So when it comes to Georgia, we do all college, UGA, Georgia Tech sometimes, Georgia State, Clark, Albany State, whoever it is. We do a little high school football too from time to time if we have time. Professional teams, Falcons, Hawks, Braves, Atlanta United, Atlanta Dream, the new volleyball professional team, Atlanta Vibe. They made the playoffs for the first time this year too. Their first season. We actually have the MVP of the volleyball league in Atlanta. Okay, which is pretty cool. But we've also had a lot of really good interviews. If you've watched any Hawks basketball, we've had Bob Rathman and Dominique Wilkins on the show, and Jerome Jurinovich. If you remember Hawks Live and Braves Live, the intros to the games, we've had all those people on the show. We've had Steve Holman on the show. He does the radio on 92.9 The Game for the Hawks. Okay, we've had him on the show. We've had former Brave Marvin Freeman on the show. We've had John Collins on the show. I said Dominique Wilkins already. Who else have we had? We've had a lot of people. There's so many people I can't remember. So if you really want to listen to some good Atlanta sports talk that is brought to you with a sense of we're fans, but we also like the truth. We also like facts. We don't just say stuff for the sake of saying it because it sounds good and it's cool. I don't like retractions. I am a journalist, so I like to prove my stuff with actually what's happened out there. Here's the game. This is not speculation. I'm not plugged into the matrix. Here's play-by-play what happened in the game. Let me show you. Want me to show you another example real quick? Here's the last shot of the game. Hornets versus Hawks.
Down the middle of fourth. He gives to Bruno. Rebound Charlotte. 7 seconds. 6. Bridges. Got it. Charlotte leads. 115, 114.
So first of all, what kind of shot was that by Bruno? Second of all, Bridges went all the way to the hoop. Nobody stopped him. And lost the game. We blew a 92-77 point lead in the fourth quarter against the Charlotte Hornets, where we had multiple opportunities to stop them and we couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. People deferring to other people to do their job instead of doing your own job. Or just not doing your job because you're bad at it, because you don't want to. I don't know where my man is. Is he over here? Is he over there? You know what? I'm going to help you stick your guy. I'm going to help you stick your man, and he don't even have the ball. That's how we play defense, because we don't have nobody from the bench teaching us otherwise. And we don't have good enough defensive players already on the roster to teach it out of people, which is why I say we need to get a Caruso. We need to get OG. We need to get these Pat Bev. Pat Bev will be slapping people around. How come you ain't got back on defense? How come you missed? How come you missed? How come you didn't call out that switch? Half of our stuff could be solved if we just communicated. Literally half of our stuff would be solved if we just communicate, be like, hey, you got a pick coming. Hey, I got your man. Go ahead and go. I got it. Just simple stuff like that, where all of a sudden you don't have a mismatch. You can't have a mismatch if somebody's on you. Instantly, boom, we just switch. And I always say, if a switch happens, if they don't take advantage of it, you got time to switch back. See how that works? Just switch back. or you hard double. We don't ever double. I wish I could pull the two shots that Kobe had put on him from Ant-Man, because it's just embarrassing. It's not team basketball. How do you leave the rookie on Ant-Man like that for the last two shots of the game? How do you with good conscience do that? I don't understand. It hurts my feelings that they did that to him like that. But I just gave you all a little bit of a taste of the show from earlier against the Hornets. Again, the next game that I will be going over, let me see if I still got it pulled up, because I can't remember. There's a lot of games I'm going through. So, oh crap, I think I did close it out. So I'll do it again. See. And again, thanks for everybody for watching, hanging out a little bit. Hawks schedule 2023. The next game I will be reviewing, it will be game 79 of the Hawks regular season. And it will be against, oh yeah, the Miami Heat overtime game that we lost by 6 points. And in that particular game that Trey didn't play, Butler had 25, Jovic had 23, and Tyler Hero had 33 points. Please, somebody explain to me how that was possible and Trey wasn't on the floor. We lost that game by 6 points. So somebody needed to stop somebody, and it didn't happen. Somebody needed to stop somebody, and it didn't happen. And Trey ain't out there to be your excuse. You see what I'm saying? You see how deep you got to go with it? Every loss that you have, you got to blame it on Trae Young. How can you do it for 28 games where he didn't play? And your top scorers on the other team balling out of control still, if Trey was the reason. Truth is, he's not the reason. People just ain't doing their jobs. You're not playing that hard. You don't know what you're doing out there, and or you don't care what you're doing out there, AKA effort. Defense is part effort and part knowledge. And way too many times, we don't have either one for everybody. But some people play with some effort. They're just not that great. Sadiq Bey, for instance, he can rebound for his position, but he can't stop nobody. So if his shot ain't going in, guess what? We in trouble. Because all those shots that he misses, he's giving them up on the other end. We have deficits all of a sudden. You see how that works? At least with Trey, he's giving you 25 and 10 each night. He can even anything he does bad out. If you want to call it bad, whatever it is, it's basketball, right? You got to be able to even that junk out and get players around them to even it out, like the Dallas Mavericks did, and they got to the finals doing it. Dallas puts people around him to mitigate his non-defense playing self. Talking about Luka. So that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Again, thanks for y'all tuning in tonight. Thanks for Francis and Gabriel for tuning in and commenting a little bit on the comment section. Appreciate that. I hate that nobody called in, but maybe next time. At least I know it's working now, so I'm happy about that, but I'm disappointed no one called in. Because I didn't use any of my sound effects, actually. I'm not going to do it now because the show is over. So that being said, after the draft, I'll get a chance to, after free agency, redo the intro, because right now the intro has, certain players in it. I've been waiting to change it after I know who we have on the team, if that makes sense. So until then, you see the intro. That's why you see some people also to the Falcons too, because I still got our former quarterback on there as well. But look for that in the near future. I'm not going to do that right now. But tomorrow should be interesting. But I just hope that we have some kind of focus to really help our team win a championship. We can't have the goal be the play-in. We can't have the goal to almost get to the playoffs like the Bulls every year. The Bulls, the owner there, his formula is, I'm not going to spend no more money because I don't have to. I got people selling out the arena on the premise that we're going to make the playoffs. And that's what Tony has taken up. The Jerry Reinsdorf method. I got State Farm Arena swag surfing every night. They don't care about nothing but swag surfing and looking good on Saturday night. So why should I care about competing? They don't care about competing, which is why I'm not going to keep buying season tickets. I'm not going to take my money no more. That's crazy. I've had season tickets the last 3 years. Never again. Unless we see some drastic changes, there's never going to be a time I'll be at State Farm Arena. I don't live in Atlanta. It's too far. It's too much. It's too much. It's crazy. It's not too much as far as the money. It's just too much me doing all that to not be able to see my team have a chance to really compete each game. I don't care. I've said this for decades. I don't care if the Hawks go 0-82. As long as they have a decent shot to win each night, I can't ask for more than that. We can't compete with the rest of the teams in the East, much less the teams in the West. We can't do it. Our record shows that we can't do it. The record don't lie. The games don't lie either, which is why I'm going through all these games. This Heat game is going to get really ugly as I go through it. I already know. We lost by 6 points. 6 points? Let me see who did what real quick. Let me see who else did something. Because I saw some scores. I saw Hunter had 11 rebounds. It's a miracle. 23 and 11. DJ, he did his part, 29, 13, and 13. But Clint had 6. You see what I'm saying about the center position? We lost that game by 6 points. If Clint Capella can average 15 points a game every game, think about how many games we wouldn't lose. We lost 21 games by 7 points or less. A lot of our games 4-3-2-1. And we can't have a center that can give us 15 solid points each night, and he averages 5 offensive rebounds a game? That's crazy talk, right? Isn't it? Or do you not care? Bogey only had 11 points in 45 minutes. Dang, that's not good. Just keeping it real, y'all. Around the ATL will be on the air again soon. I'll see if I'm gonna get to the I don't know what time it is. I don't know what time my shoot will be finished, but I'll see if I can go. Now that I'll be in town, I might try to go. I guess I'll bring a change of clothing or something. Try to freshen up and roll through there or whatever. Oh man, that means I got to pay for parking. I don't know if I want to go now. I haven't been to Atlanta in a year. I can say I stopped going to the games. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it no more. I just watched them on Bally's or whatever when Bally's was working. But since I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow, I'll consider it. So thanks for the heads up on that and reminder, because I had completely forgotten about the draft party. So we'll see. But in the meantime, y'all keep in touch. Again, Intellect ATL on Twitter. Make sure y'all follow me. Take a second. Let me find it again. Take a second real quick and follow me there. And just make sure you actually subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. Like, take a couple of seconds and subscribe. It's not too difficult. At least I hope it's not. It's technology. But subscribe to the page. Tell others about it. Forward it. If you see the show posted and you didn't get to watch it and then share it. You know, I know everybody didn't know I was doing this show tonight. I didn't really pub tonight or earlier today. I just said I'm going to do 2 shows today somehow. I'm going to push through. But I wanted to do a little something more on the basis of just the organization a little bit. And what are we doing? What are we really doing? Why can't we get people to have more confidence to come here? Okay. Because we've had some good players. Again, we've had some good to great players in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? We've had the Sarr of the Telestrator and Coach Bud here. You know what I'm saying? We've had, you know, some semblances of smartness in the GM room every now and a blue moon, but just not consistently. For every, you know, for every good thing that a GM does, you got Billy Knight. You see what I'm saying? You got evil words that shouldn't even be spoken out loud 3 times in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool what the Hawks have done over all these decades, and now we're all old and stuff, and we still don't have a shot. And the one time we did have a shot, it was messed up because of a referee getting in the way. And then the very next season, when we could have loaded for bear and said, we're going all out. Here we go, Trey. Here's some help. Because everybody gets help. The Boston Celtics, from 1 year when we should have eliminated them, I told y'all we should have. Trey did everything in his power to eliminate the Celtics. All we needed was somebody to play a little defense. That's all we needed. Just a little bit. But from 1 year to the next, the Boston Celtics said, we ain't good enough to get over the top. We're going to get the Laffy and Dirt, and we're going to get Drew Holiday. That's going to share it up for us. And it did. They won 64 games. Now they're loaded for bear for however many years now. And who knows, they might make some more moves next year. Al might be gone. They're going to replace him with somebody. Right? I'm glad Al got him a championship, though. He deserved it. I'll give it to him. I ain't a hater. But anyway, let me get out of here. Let me play this intro, and y'all take care. Have a good night. If you do know somebody who needs photos, let me do that one more time. Let me give myself a shot to get some more work. IMTMWorldwideImages.com. IMTMImages1 on Instagram. Follow me there. But yeah, go check it out. Let some people know. I don't know what time I'm coming in town just yet tomorrow because my shoot is not till 1. Since nobody else has booked me, I'm not going up there that early. But after that, like I said, if nobody else hits me up, maybe I'll go to the draft party, or I might just go to Hooters or something and watch it from there or something, and then go home. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all take care. Have a good one. This is Around the ATL on IMTN Worldwide Radio. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe. Get out the sun. It's hot outside. Peace.